there in radio and podcast land, wherever you may be. I am your resident sexologist and host, Doc Val, and we are tonight talking about swinging, aka the lifestyle. Because this month, ladies, it's all about the lifestyle and swinging. I think it's National Swingers Month or something. I think something like that, right, Misty? Yeah. So tonight we're going to kick off March, talking about what the lifestyle is, how you get into it. We're going to go over vocabulary and talk about a book that I wrote all about swinging. So it's going to be a fun month. So make sure that you follow, subscribe, and like us wherever you may listen to us at Brown Sugar Confessions. Miss T, how are you this evening?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna tell you one thing. I'm a little upset that I've known you for over what 5, almost 10 years, and I'm just finding out you wrote a book.
How could you not know that?
Cause you ain't never told me.
That's hard to believe. You're right. I probably didn't. I'm horrible at promoting.
She
I
got
am.
a whole book,
I
y'all.
gotta.
It ain't even a little book. This book got some size to it.
It does. I'm holding up to the
It's
camera right
nice.
now,
Yeah, it
you
looks
guys.
very
It's a thick
It's
one.
it's
beautiful.
that is more than a weekend read.
Yeah, it is. Yes, I gotta send you all
Yeah,
my book.
yeah.
Yes. So make
Looks like
sure,
a
guys.
college course book. Like, is that like,
Right. This
It,
part of like
should
what
I
is
be
it?
getting that
Women's
for one of my
women's
classes?
history
Like,
101?
yeah.
Like what is going on?
it really is. It's in English and French and Spanish.
Wow.
Uh,
Ma'am.
it really is English, French, and Spanish. And this book it's called Black Female Sexual Myths Impact on Swingers Culture. That's the name of the book. And
Well,
I
I know what I
go,
want for my birthday. Thanks.
oh, all right, I'm sending them out. I'm sending, if you guys are listening, I'm going to send you the book out if you want it. I'm going to put the link up for it. It is, it's a really, I think it's a well researched book on what swinging is, um, the history of the lifestyle. Well, I'm saying the lifestyle. I'll talk about about that later. But the history of swinging, we go into demographics of swingers. I was one of the first female researchers of swingers, and for what I've been told, the only black female to ever research swingers. So it's
And
one
we're
of
just hearing
those.
about it now
I
in the year
can't
of our plate,
believe it. All right, I will
2023.
make. You know what? We're gonna be having y'all. We're gonna be in Jamaica, and we're gonna be on the beach reading my book.
I'm here for this. I'm here for this.
Okay, all right. But anyway, Miss T, let me go into you. Other than my book, what's going on in the ATL, girlfriend?
Well, since Doc Val is, we're putting out, our accomplishments, I guess I will put out my accomplishments. So,
Yes.
hi, Radioland, Miss T. I am not only your favorite co host, I am also a registered yoga instructor, and now I am a certified sound healer.
Woo! Yay!
So I got my certification official on Monday. And so I have my Tibetan bowls, I have my tuning forks, I got my crystal bowls now, and they sound absolutely amazing. So I am very excited to start using them in events and in my yoga practice on my
Awesome.
clients.
So, hey, Miss T, so do you do this? I know you do it in person, obviously, but can you do this online with
I
people?
can.
You can. So, how can they
Ooh.
reach you? I mean, hey,
So
we're promoting tonight.
right, we're apparently we're doing all the promotions today. So if you would like to get a sound healing session or a yoga session from me, you can reach out to my website. It is insideoutwm.com. So Inside Out Wellness and Movement, insideoutwm.com, all one word, no capital letters.
I actually have a few things coming up myself. So, I all of the lovely ladies here will most likely be there. But if you are in the Delaware area by chance, April 7th, I will be hosting a wonderful show. So, right now, really everything for me has just been about preparing for shows, preparing for events, trying to get vendors, people who want to sell things, and just getting things together. Otherwise, yeah, work. As usual.
As usual, huh? That's all you do.
As usual. That's
And
all I do.
so,
Work, 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 work,
can
work.
can we put your link up? We're going to have the link up for your show, and I will be in the show. Miss T will be in the show. Treese will be in the show. There's going to be a star coming in from the Middle East. You guys want to be in that? It's going
So
to be a
exciting.
blast. We and y'all don't know we love to party. We're going to party
That's also
hard.
my birthday weekend.
Oh, so lots of
So we're
celebrating
really going to
going
be
on.
partying.
We're really going to be partying. So we want to see all of our fans out there. We're going to sign some autographs, hang out, take some pictures, and just make it a fun weekend with Brown Sugar Confession Team all in one place at the same time. So we want to see you guys there.
Damn.
Dr.
You're
Val.
horrible.
Dr. Val, you, however, you're always starting some very interesting conversations that get a lot of people talking on
Hmm.
TikTok. And I was looking at it, and your most recent question, well, it's interesting to see people's responses, but
It is.
I want to know what Miss T has to say about this. And I actually want your actual opinion, Dr. Val. But
I'm going to give it.
her question is, would you date or marry a bisexual man? And I think this is a great way to kind of kickstart the whole conversation about swinging for this swinging, session. But
Right.
would you date or marry someone, Miss T, who is bisexual?
It's a bisexual man.
Bisexual
Yes.
man, yes.
I would.
You would. Now, I'm
I would.
surprised.
You got to be open about these things. I think the reason a lot of people are more willing to go with a bisexual woman versus a bisexual man is because a lot of people have that fantasy of, if it's a threesome, it's a guy or a
Mm-hmm.
girl situation. You know what I mean?
Right.
Rarely is it ever like two women and a man, or two men and a woman.
And a woman, right, yes.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So, but here's the other thing too, is if I'm going to be with an individual who prefers guys over girls, I think for me, I just want them to be safe around it. Like, I think there's also a lot of recklessness that is associated with dudes,
Mm-hmm.
especially if they are men who enjoy other men.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
And
do.
especially if you're looking at it from, I guess this is kind of a broad way of saying it. Our culture
What do you
is
mean?
that if, like, our culture as in like
Oh,
African American culture,
okay.
is that if it doesn't matter if a guy is interested in the guy, he's gay, and that's wrong.
Right. Yeah,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean?
Yeah, I do. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So you
So
would. I find that I'm
I would give it a try.
surprised. You would
I
give it a
definitely give
try.
it a go, especially because my thing is like, okay, if he's bisexual, that's cool. That could be some swinging fun times, possibly, maybe. It's
Yeah.
swinging month. Who knows? This might be the thing that this might be the oil that slides me into the swinging orgy. Who knows?
You
Who knows at
always
this
talk
point?
about slipping and sliding in somebody's orgy.
Because there has to be logistics. Nobody ever talks about the logistics. How do you get into said orgy? How do you get into the swinging community? How do you get into the threesome? Like, everybody just thinks that just happens, and now
Okay.
you're there.
So we're going to
No,
talk about
there's layers to it.
we're going to go swinging 101 tonight. We're going to answer some of those questions about swinging so Miss T can get educated
Yes,
on
I need all
slipping
the
and
education
sliding.
because I need to be prepared.
Yes,
We're going to Jamaica. I need to be prepared.
into orgy. So we're going to go in there and what an orgy is, and then I'll tell you. I will be honest. I've never experienced an orgy. Never. It's it's just not in my personal wheelhouse. However,
Right.
I did see one, and I will tell you what I saw when I saw the orgy, and I was
What
like,
happened? What'd you see?
I'll tell you later. I can tell you now, but we got to answer the question. You want me to
I'm
tell you?
curious
What?
now.
All right.
Like,
Well, I got to tell you now. Okay. All right. I'll tell you now.
the only
So
orgy thing I've seen is on like that one episode of what's that show? The Boys,
the
where they
boy.
had like a superhero orgy that just went wrong. If you
Oh
ever watch The Boys, you'll understand. But
no. I haven't watched that. So
I'll catch you up
okay. All right. So let me tell you now. I'll tell you later about the orgy.
now.
That was quick. Not even a moment's hesitation. So we were at an event, and I was teaching at an event, and there was they had this maybe 15, 20 mattresses all
Oh,
connected together, and they had security around the mattresses, like, you know, they had a perimeter kind of roped off, and they had a big orgy sign at a specific time. I was like, oh, I want to come
so they
back and
literally just had on the sign,
orgy.
orgy will happen here at 9 o'clock.
Yes, yes, there was a sign
Come
at
with
the
oil.
time. Yes, yes, that yes. Plenty of
Wow.
towels were there. They had a big old bucket of towels. They had a like a whole basket of condoms and some lube. I guess the manufacturer. Yep, go ahead, Miss Kate. She got her hand up. What is it, girl? Why she
Was
raising her
there
hand like she?
oil? Was there oil for slipping and sliding into said?
There, I didn't notice there was oil, but I did see a lot of lube because the
I was
sponsor
saying they
had their
got
lube
lube.
there.
Maybe the lube was for the slipping and sliding
Maybe the
outside
lube
of the
was for
slipping
the
and sliding.
slipping and sliding, right? So, I'm walking around. I'm like, oh, I want to make sure I get back in time because I actually had you in mind, Miss T. I actually did. I was like, I got to tell her how they're going to slip and slide because I honestly
Yes.
don't know how they slip and slide in an orgy. So I made it back just in time, right in the beginning of the orgy. So it's like 30 people, which was, that started converging in this area, and they're all taking their clothes off and putting them on the side. And so I'm like, okay, this is, and there's a viewing area for you to view if you would like to view. And so I'm one of those like voyeurs just looking like, okay, I'm taking notes because I got to tell Miss T how to slip and slide
Mm-hmm.
because I'm clueless. And everyone grabbed a towel, and everyone had their everyone grabbed a towel. I don't know about the lube and the condoms, but people were definitely having towels, and they laid them down on
Huh.
these cots on these beds. And then I guess it must have been like maybe by the time it's all said when it started, it must have been about maybe 40 to 45 people. It was a big group of people, big
Wow.
group. Um, and they all stood up and held hands in a big circle and put their heads down. And I said, are they praying
Are they
before they
saying
slip
grace
and
before the
slide?
orgy?
I actually said to myself,
Hi.
are they praying? What are they doing holding hands before the slip and slide with their heads down as if they're praying? Because there is a group called Swingers for Jesus. Now, I don't.
Hi.
Wait. I'm sorry. Wait.
Wife swapping for the Lord.
Wait. Wait.
I think I knocked off Radio Land with that comment.
Wait. Wait.
Miss
Wait.
T,
Wait.
what?
Time out. Time
What?
out. Time out.
What?
Time out.
What? Go ahead.
Not only do we have swingers saying grace before the main event, there is a group called what? I'm sorry. Say that one more time. Because
Swingers
clearly
for
I didn't hear it
Jesus.
correctly.
Swingers for Jesus. You heard it. Yes, they hold church naked swinging on Sunday at 11 o'clock. Yep. I saw it firsthand.
What?
Minister and all, buck naked. The whole Radio Land has totally gone silent. Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Well then.
Yes. Swingers
Well
for
then.
Jesus. Praising the Lord naked. Yes. And then I don't, slip and sliding, I guess. Yeah. It's a group. It's actually a real group. And it's a big group. All over the world. They swing for Jesus. Y'all are absolutely shook back there.
I
Y'all
don't
got
know
to
what
go.
else to say.
Y'all
I had
got
other questions, but I don't. They all went away. They're gone. The questions have left. I'm just stuck at that point.
y'all need to go on YouTube because Miss T literally is in shock. I might need to call a paramedic down there. And everyone's just kind of gone white in their complexions because they're like, you gotta be kidding me. But yeah, it's a real thing, y'all. So yeah, do you want to talk about Swinger for Jesus, or would you like to talk about the orgy? I done threw a lot at y'all within the first 10 minutes. A lot is going on.
Well, we still didn't get your response, Dr. Val. So I think we're just going to move on from there. We might have to, wait until Miss T gets resuscitated. I think it's even kind of knocked everything out of order for her. But
Yes.
until she gets comes to, let me ask you, would you date Dr. Val, a bisexual man?
No, I would not.
No. That
No.
was an easy no.
Yeah, that was an easy no for me. I actually I actually talked about that. And I was like, there is no way that number one, I don't think I could the jealousy, I think I would be too jealous. And I'm such a what is it,
What does jealousy
pansexual.
have? Wait. What
Well,
does
I think I would
jealousy
be
have to do with it?
I would think like, oh my God, what if I don't know, I would think that he's just trying to pick up every man he saw. I don't know why I would think that. And
But
I'm
you
totally
should,
wrong.
if he's heterosexual, he might be trying to pick up every woman that he meets. So
I know,
if
but
he is
it's it's like
bisexual
okay,
but he's monogamous, it's just the same thing.
I know it makes no sense rationally. It makes no sense. I know that, but on as we sit here, as the Lord is my witness, it is something. Well, I've never been presented. I've never been with a person, a man that was bisexual, but I do not think. I know I would not be comfortable, nor would I date a man that was bisexual for me. So, what about you, KD? Would you?
I would. That I am aware of, I never have. But
Okay.
this is a question I have actually had a heart to heart with myself about before.
Mm-hmm.
And my answer is I would. And my reasoning is this, for the same reason that I gave you. If I demand monogamy out of a relationship for whatever reason, and I'm not a heavy believer in monogamy per se, but if I
Mm-hmm.
am in a situation where I'm expecting monogamy, that to me is that's the deal. So if even if you're bisexual, if we are committed to one another, you're still going to be with me. I think a lot of times a lot of men have had some sort of, just like a lot of women have, I think a lot of guys have had at some point in their life some sort of experience.
Mm-hmm.
And talking to people, they have a couple of drinks in them, they tell you things. So I've found out a lot about people who've had their little experiences, but they typically don't tell their significant others ever because they think, oh, well, they're not going to like me anymore because they think I'm, gay.
Right.
And I think that there actually breaks down communication. So I think if people can be honest about their experiences, honest about who they are, and if someone is even willing to give that information to me, this is someone I can now trust because all right, you trusted me enough to tell me that kind of information, to share it with me. Then now I know that if you should be willing to tell me pretty much anything else. That if you are finding someone else attractive, that you'll be clear with me about it. If you are bored in a relationship, that you're going to tell me about it versus just hiding and sneaking. I'd rather knowingly deal with someone who's bisexual than someone who's going to do it behind my back anyway,
Oh,
because that's
absolutely.
typically what you're going to get
Facts.
anyway is a bunch of
Absolutely.
lying,
That
because no one's
right
going to tell
there.
women if they actually are, because they know that it's going to get
The
them
stigma.
upset. Yeah, the stigma.
Exactly.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's my opinion on it.
Yeah, I got it. I got it. I think and if you go to my TikTok, you will see that it's all over the place. It's a lot of yeses. It's like F no, it's all over the place. It's yeses. It's a mix. And your reason is your reason. And I think though, you just need to be honest and have that conversation. And I always tell people this in the beginning when in a new relationship. I know we want to make them happy, we want to fall in love and get to know them, but you need to really set your boundaries and have your values and attitudes and beliefs known and acknowledged and spoken about early in the relationship instead of springing it on them towards the middle or the end. That's not fair to the person that you're with. You need to let them know straight up. Now, what's funny, I would maybe what's not funny, but what when my husband and I were talking about this, I said I would date a trans woman or a trans man, even post
Hmm.
surgery. He was like, "Well, really?" I'm like, "Yeah, I really would." Pre-surgery. I'm sorry, pre-surgery. I would. I If I was younger, not younger, but I was single, I would definitely date a trans. Either way, I would be okay with that. Post trans to female to male to male to female. I would absolutely be fine with that. So I need to
You know,
post that
Dr.
on TikTok.
Val, Dr. Val, I'm gonna be very honest.
Mm.
Um, I used to have a little bit of a bucket list, and I wish that would have made my bucket list because I totally, but I understand also, especially for trans women, that they don't really like being a bucket list item because they're human beings. They want to be treated
Right,
like a human being. But I would indeed also date a trans woman.
right. Okay. See, there you go. There
I
you
think I
go.
would give it a go.
Yeah.
If it's just like dating, just to
Right.
kind of like feel each other out.
Right. And what made me say yes to
Or
that was
man.
when I was in Thailand, I saw a trans male. I think that's right. Yeah, born male, and was transitioning.
That's a trans woman.
I'm sorry, trans female. Sorry, I had to think about which way I was going. Trans female, but and he was, and she, excuse me, she did not have bottom surgery,
She's a
and
lady boy.
yes, and was not going to have was not going to have surgery. And I found that it was quite erotic to I'm like, really? And just to have the conversation
People
and
go to
absolutely
Thailand for that
stunning.
specifically.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, lady boys, and it's very common place to meet and see a lady boy in Thailand. They are stunningly beautiful. Just makeup, hair. They're just. I mean, it's you can go to Thailand, like go to mall and get major plastic surgery, then go upstairs and them wait on you. I mean, it's really the plastic surgery
That's
mecca. I
interesting.
thought. I was telling
Because
my
why not?
because why not go to the mall and just get a whole lipo of your face and everything else? But anyway, yeah. So it was quite interesting, but I don't know where we went with our slipping and slide. Can I finish telling you? I can tell you right 2 minutes, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right,
You,
2 minutes.
you have a few seconds. You have a few
Okay, a few
seconds to
seconds.
finish that
So
up.
yes. So slipping and sliding, going back to our orgy because we're all over the place tonight, but we're gonna go back on target. So they got in this huddle and they were holding hands and they bowed their heads as if they were praying before the orgy commenced. And I found that fascinating. Like, what are they doing in this circle, holding hands as if they're praying to Jesus? Because I mentioned the swingers for Jesus. So then they all they disband, they unhook arms, and they go in the bed and girl, legs, butt, bodies. It was just on. I mean, they was in it like all over the place. And I was like, oh, and it went on for about a good hour and a half to 2 hours. It was
But
a
did you
long one.
find out if they were was this like was this a prayer before
No.
like dear Lord, please let us ensure that we have
Like
a
bless
successful
the booty
event
I'm
like
about to eat or something.
No, what they were doing were they were making introductions and setting boundaries that each person had.
I like that.
I was like,
Oh.
oh, okay. And I'm like, well, that makes a little sense. So it wasn't like, yes, they were slipping and sliding, but they took the time to introduce themselves and say what they would and would not participate in to set their rules.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. And
Interesting.
then it was a free for all. And they were, I mean, hey, if you wanted to see it in that night, you would have seen it all. And when they were
Wow.
done, there was a lot of post cuddling, I guess, afterwards, lots of embracing and
All the
thank
aftercare.
yeah, so lots of aftercare and hugging and thanking each other for the experience. And then it looked like the couples reconnected and walked out hand in hand, and I guess showered and did what they did and went to dinner. But yeah, it was a long event watching them slipping and sliding for an hour and a half. And so yeah. So Y'all know what we say in Brown Sugar. We don't know where we go, but stay safe and play safe out there. And they
Yes,
definitely
please.
stayed place and they stayed safe and they played safe. So
That's
we're
very
all about
important.
that. It's very, very
I'm
Yes.
here
important.
for it.
Consent,
Yes, indeed.
names, I guess names, whatever names they gave, and let's be safe about it.
Yes. So
I
it's time
know.
for a break. So make sure everyone you go ahead, get your drinks. While you are out, make sure you check us out on YouTube, subscribe, do all of those things, and we will be back in just a minute on Brown Sugar Confessions.
Welcome back, everybody, here to Brown Sugar Confessions on the radio and YouTube. If you can always catch our replays on Thursdays on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Go follow Doc's Val TikTok if you want some absolutely wonderful organized madness. Organized.
That's a good way to put it.
But yeah, follow Doc Val. She is it Dr. Val Nefertiti, correct?
Yep, that's it.
Yep, Dr. Val Nefertiti on TikTok. Go follow her. Answer some of them questions she be asking, especially
Please.
that bisexual would you date a bisexual man question, because I feel like that needs to be discussed a little bit more.
I think you're
Also,
right.
yeah. Also, don't forget, if you ever want to talk to us, you can reach out to us at brownsugarconfessions@gmail.com. Send us a love note. If you got a problem, we'll be willing and ready to give you an answer over the radio if you so choose. If you want to talk to Doc Val specifically, you can reach out to her at Valerie@swancenter.com. I do have a quick question though
What is
about
the
the whole orgy story. Okay,
Okay, go
because
ahead.
I kind of blacked out for a hot second when you
You did.
said there were swingers for Jesus.
Yes.
But
You
then
did
I
go
kind
into
of
a corner.
started thinking, like, what does the logo for that look like? Is it Jesus on a swing?
I have
Like
no
a literal
idea.
swing? Is he in between two people swinging? I'm probably going to catch a lot of flack for this, but I got legit questions now.
I really have no idea what the logo looks like, but I do know there is a really big group. You can Google them, Swingers for Jesus, and I've seen them in action when they hold their. I've actually, been to events teaching, and like they'll have their church service either 10 or 11 o'clock, and they're naked, and they're praising the Lord, and then they're on the beach swapping partners. Hey,
I got so much material in my head. I'm not going to say none of it because I feel like somebody's coming after me. It won't be just the feds coming for me this time if I say anything past this. So we're going to keep it moving. I
all
got a
right,
quick question for you guys, though.
all right, let's hear it.
All right. So, you know how in a lot of, I want to say, I guess, same sex, LGBTQ relationships, they use the term partner, right?
Right. Hmm.
Hmm.
Do you think it's okay for straight uh, relationships to use partner as well? Because apparently there is a big debate on whether straight couples should use the term partner for their significant other.
I think so. I think it's okay to use the word partner. I,
I
I've
do too.
I've even introduced Gerd and I as my husband and my partner. I've actually said that before. So I think
Hmm.
it's okay to use it. I did not think it was just for the LGBTQ plus community. I thought it was just a synonymous term that people were using instead of saying married. I thought
Hmm.
the term partner replaced married actually.
Right. How do you feel, Katie?
So I happen to be aware of the whole conversation around that, and I'm going to say maybe quite a few years ago, I remember hearing someone who was, I believe, lesbian actually, who was complaining that heterosexual couples were using the term partner. That because at one point, people who were not heterosexual were not allowed to be married. So they used the term partner to describe what, their relationship. I have a partner. And some people believe that heterosexual people using that terminology is a form of like kind of just co-opting, like just stilling basically their language. And I get that. Personally speaking, I've heard people argue in both directions, because one of the things that does happen, if people tend to use the word partner instead of husband, wife, et cetera, it kind of gives kind of an inclusivity. Like everyone, you don't know who's who. So you don't have to worry about, like, you can say partner and people won't know if it is, if you're heterosexual or not. And I think that really people don't need to know what I am.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I am straight, it's not your business.
Exactly.
If I am bisexual, if I have 17 husbands, it's none of your business. So I think it's much better for, to me, to have language that is far less, indicative of what your situation is. I think it's better for everyone, including people who are gay, bisexual, transgender, and everything else in between, depending on your situations. I think it could help, because I think we should take that kind of language out of our conversations, especially in the workplace.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
I thought it
Well.
was pretty interesting. And the funny thing is as I was looking up this hot topic, um, I was also with one of my friends who happens to be lesbian, and we had got on this conversation. We're like, it makes more sense to call your significant other a partner now, because what if you're in a and I guess if you are in a straight relationship, um, and you want to assume the role of husband or wife, because let's be real, these are roles. These are not things that just happen. Your
Right.
husband, if you are going to be the husband, you are expected to do X, Y, Z. If you're going to be the wife, you are expected to
Mm.
do X, Y, Z.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not adhering to those roles, why am I going to call you my husband or my wife?
Mm-hmm.
If
Mm-hmm.
if we're doing the roles equally, why am I going to call you my husband or wife? Because in
Right.
most heterosexual marriages, the wife is subservient to the husband.
Mm.
Uh, I
Or
don't know
I'm not
about
going to
that
say
one.
in
No,
all of them. I'm
not
saying
all of them.
in
Yes.
most. Or
Yes.
let me take that back. In the more traditional
Traditional. If you're a
sense,
traditionalist, yes.
yes, if you're conservative traditionalist, the wife is subservient to the husband,
Okay.
and that typically happens in heterosexual roles.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. I
So
can
if
see that.
yeah, so if you're not really adhering to that, or if you're just like it's whatever, then there should be no argument on whether somebody should call you your partner if you're in a long term relationship.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I like
At
that.
least that's
Hmm.
my thought of view for it.
All right. All right. Well, you know what? We want to know what you guys think about out there. Send us an email and let us know at brownsugarconfessions@gmail.com. What do you think about the conversation? Should the word partner just be reserved for the LGBTQ plus community? Or should it just be a word that's used just to describe your marriage, your partner? It should be used in that category. So let us know what you think about it. So I have a question for you guys that came across my desk, and
What's that?
and it's not. It can go into swinging because I
Mm-hmm.
actually have seen this happen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't see it. I heard my client told me that this happened, and I literally could not hold the face. Okay, so two things happened. Then I want to talk about KD and what happened over the weekend with her. I got two
Do I need to
things.
hold on to my cup for this?
For the first one, no, it's kind of funny though. But the second
Okay.
one with KD, you definitely need to hold on to your drink with this one because this is a
All
crazy
right.
story. All right. So the
Gotcha.
first one is I got for you. So I want to know something. You're with your partner, your male partner, and you're in the you're in the act, and his toupee falls off. What do you do?
Oh,
Wait,
oh no.
what? I'm glad I wasn't holding my drink. Oh, like if
Oh
wait,
man.
because
Yes.
now we got to talk logistics. Is he on top and the toupee falls on you, or like are you on top and you're just rocking it and it just slides off?
Either or, that toupee has slid off. It is off. It is off. It's on the
Like is it
pillow.
on the side?
It's on the side. It is off of his head, Miss T. Do you
We talking about a
a
half or a whole?
a half hole? He's got a hairpiece. You didn't know brother has a hairpiece. Do you
Oh
pick? Do
no,
you
this
pick
hasn't
the?
been discussed before.
No.
Ugh.
Do you pick the hairpiece up and put it back on his head? Do you take the hairpiece and just leave it where it is and pretend you don't notice the hairpiece? Or do you just crack up and just it's over with? I want to know what y'all think because I actually had a client of mine
KD, you
told
might
me
want to
this
go first
happened
on
to
this
them.
one.
What would you do,
KD, you might
KD?
want to go first.
Well, I mean, I agree with Miss T. It depends on the logistics. So if I am the in the dominant position, so to speak, um, it might end up being my little like rodeo thing. So I'm probably gonna just be like, you know what, let's go for this. We're just gonna swing it around.
That
Like,
that right there.
listen, we're going to make it a show. Like, it already
It's a part of the
upstaged
scene
me.
now. It's a
It
part of the
upstaged
scene.
him. It's part of the scene. So now we got to include it into, the play, so to speak. So I'd probably do that. If it was another situation where I am not in a dominant position, then I would probably just ignore it. What's the point in acknowledging it if it just popped off and it's there and it's
Okay.
like, oh, okay, cool. What's up? Whatever. I'm certainly not going to embarrass them. I might be a little shocked, like, what the heck? I mean, I don't know how I would even respond immediately because I've never seen a man with a toupee before, to be honest. I don't know what one looks like. So
Okay.
I might be a little shocked just off of the confusion. But once I figure it out, I would definitely never want to do anything that would make them embarrassed.
I
So
gotcha.
I would probably try to make it as comfortable as I think I could do at that time.
I gotcha. Okay, Miss T, what would you do?
This is already a sign that I just need to stay single.
First of
I
all,
just need to
huh?
stay single
First, just stay single.
because if I'm in coitus and this man is not doing his
Oh.
job
Oh
and that
Lord.
toupee comes off and I see said toupee come off, which means I have to be looking at him and that thing falls
Oh.
down. I'm not going to be degrading, but I'm definitely going to wipe his sweat off with his own toupee.
Ah,
Be
ah,
like, you are working so
ah.
hard, baby. Yes. Let me get that for you right there. Let me get that
just,
for you. And
just,
don't let it be sprayed with like that little color spray because now he getting smear marks all over himself.
oh my
If it
goodness.
if it if now if I'm in a position and he doing his job and I just happen to see it fall off, I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna just knock it out the way with my hand. Be like, oh baby, yes. And then that way he ain't gonna really realize that I know because I'm flailing. See,
That
I can
is
be gracious.
you can be gracious, but one of my friends had said to me that she was in with a male and he was, between her legs, going down and she reached up and was messing with his hair and her hand was stroking his head
Oh,
and when
she
she
took it with
did
her.
and she lifted up his toupee and and she said that she looked down and she was like, what is this? And it was just like he had that like his it was she said it was a disaster and she just took his hair and just put it back down and patted it back down on his forehead.
Oh,
I
poor
was
baby.
trying not to crack up, but I swear I was cracking up. So I just wanted to know, what would y'all do? Because I thought she handled it very nicely.
She did.
She did.
She was very
Homeboy, he,
That
professional
was
he
very
about
kept
that.
sweet.
working.
That
He
was
kept
very sweet.
working.
Yeah.
She was very professional
She
about that.
was. She was very professional. She was very sweet. I was like, I would have done the same thing after I giggled a little and just pat it
I don't
back
know
down.
that wig would have been somewhere else.
Yes, but yeah, that was a crazy one. So I have to tell y'all the story with Katie because this was because Katie and her husband came down for the weekend, and so Katie, you tell the story because you're at my house, and
Yes.
then I have a story for you guys, right? Okay,
Oh,
after
okay.
this, so I have this is the crazy one. So quickly tell the story because then I have a question. Okay.
Oh my goodness gracious. So, we were at her house, and of course, Dr. Val, she's not the type of person that's just going to let you hang out and you go to sleep. Or more importantly, Mr. Dr. Val, isn't going to allow you to just come hang out. And there's always going to be a little libations involved, a lack of sleep involved. That's just what happens when you hang out with
with
Dr.
with
Val.
with with the
Just
notorious G? Nah, no,
yes,
there
with
is
the
no sleeping. What are
notorious
you talking
G.
about? There is no
With the
sleeping.
you're absolutely right.
No.
So to top it off, my husband also works night shifts, so he rarely gets sleep, and so we came over there already with him pretty much sleep deprived. So we hung out, we go to bed, and about we went to bed about 2 a.m. I'll be honest. So I think about 6 a.m. I wake up and I have to go to the bathroom, and I look to the left of me where my husband was supposed to be, and no one was there, and I'm like, where on
Oh
earth did
no.
he go? He's not here anymore. All right,
Oh
well, I thought
no.
maybe he also had to go to the bathroom, but the bed felt kind of cold. So I'm like, it felt like he was gone for a while. And he's the type of person that could sleep almost anywhere. So I'm like, maybe he fell asleep in the bathroom, just kind of the thing he would do. So I
Right.
went to the bathroom and I like knock on the door. The light was on. It looked like he had been in there. Knock on the door, no one answers. And I'm like, okay. So I
Oh
open the door, I
no.
go to the bathroom, and I'm like, all right, well, if he's not in there at 6 a.m., Dr. Val says
Do
she
you
ain't
fall
waking
asleep
up
in the
till
pool?
9 at the earliest. Listen. So I go, he's not in there. So I go down the steps and I look around. I'm like, well, he's not down here. All right, this is getting a little scary. So I check the downstairs bathroom. No one's there. I come up the steps. Now, I don't know if you know, but Dr. Val has a couple of rooms. So I check one of the other rooms. It's like a little nice, beautiful guest, not really guest room. It's kind of an entertainment room, perhaps. No one's in there. All right. Check another room. That's like her room that she's in right now, her nice little recording studio, so to speak. No one's in there. All right. So I'm about to give up and start calling the police. I check the final room and I look in there. Actually, no, let me take that back. I went back into my bedroom and noticed that the closet was open. Dr. Val doesn't leave her closets open. So I'm like, something's weird here. The closet's open. It looked like someone tried to make a bed in a closet. So I'm like a little worried at this point because it dawned on me that, there's a possibility that something strange may have happened at this point. So I go into the last room, and there is my husband sitting in his boxers, passed out on top of a giant pile of clothes inside of Mr. Dr. Val's what do we call
Office.
it? It's kind of like his workspace basically. Just
Yes, it's
just
his man.
passed
It's
out
his
on top of
office.
me. It's his office space. So he's passed out there just like snoring like a bear. And I'm like, crap. I see like doors open and everything. So what I did not mention is that he has a habit of sleepwalking. So
He was
he woke up in the
sleepwalking.
middle of the night, slept, walked, went into the closet. I think he went to the bathroom at some time, and then he went into the office space and passed out after doing whatever he was doing in there.
Oh
Yes, he
And
did.
I'm like, at this point, I'm like highly embarrassed. I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna
no.
think we're crazy.
Oh
I don't know what to say. I can't explain this. So I'm like, I wake him up and I'm like, you gotta go to bed now. So I wake him up and he looks around and he's like, what? And he's like, where am I? I'm like, you are in their office space. You got to go right now. So I pull him up, we get him out and put him back into the room, and he goes right back to sleep and starts snoring like a bear again. So, yes,
True
no. So
sleepwalking
whose
at
story.
Dr.
clothes
Val's
was he on?
He was on Gerd's summer clothes because he hadn't put them away yet. So,
I thought he
so
was pulling clothes out of the
he
drawers
had
and
opened
throwing
up the
them on the
drawers. He had opened up all the drawers in Gerd's office. He had to open up his closet. I mean, he was just yeah. So I said so when he came down the next morning and Katie's telling me this story. I said, what if you had slept, walked,
bed.
and then crawled in bed with us? What would you have done? So my question to
Oh
you is what if you had a house guest and your house guest was sleepwalking and ended up in your bed? What would you do? Come on, Miss
no. I will
T.
say this because
Okay.
I am a sleepwalker.
Oh,
I am a
I
sleepwalker,
gotta
but
lock
my
my
thing is
doors when
like
y'all are around.
it happens when I'm highly anxious. and I'm in
Okay.
a place I'm
Hmm.
not familiar with. So one of the things that I do in places I'm not familiar with, if I'm going to bed, is I always lock my door so I don't go wandering around the house.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
I lock myself in the room so I don't go wandering around the house.
I,
Uh,
all right, since all of
but
y'all will be down here in April, I'm gonna be locking our bedroom door because I'm not having Katie's husband in my bed between me and my husband. And then there come Miss T, and next thing you know, she think there's
well,
an
I've been
orgy.
in
She's
your house
slipping and
before, so I'm
sliding.
relatively
I don't even
comfortable.
know what's going
But
on.
no, what you should worry about if I'm sleepwalking is if I wander out into the pool or into that little
Oh,
clubhouse area that you have.
oh my
Now, if
God.
I disappear from my room, that's probably what happened. Just check the pool, check the clubhouse, or check your couch,
All right, y'all.
or check your couch. I'm in one of three locations.
Y'all, this show has been crazy. We want to know right now. So that's our second question, you guys. We have three questions. What would you do if you had a house guest and they were sleepwalking and ended up in your bedroom? A, would you wake them up? And like, what the? B, would you just let them lay there and sleep and then you get out of the bed to go tell the partner that, your husband or wife's in my bed sleeping, they're sleepwalking? Or would you be like just staying in there, all y'all just sleep together?
Oh
Really,
well.
what
Well,
would you do? And
well,
that's
like
yeah,
the
think
thing
about it.
I've always been told, and I know it's happened with me a couple of times. If somebody sees me sleepwalk, and they'll just be like, "Hey, go back to bed."
Uh-huh.
And then I
Mm.
guess in my head, I guess whatever, just turn around and go somewhere else. So it'll be
Okay.
like, "Hey, go back to bed. You're walking around," or something like that. And I think like subconsciously, if they're used to being in a certain area, they just go back to that area.
Okay.
That's what I heard. I don't know if that's like technical. Like I don't know if anybody's out there that professionally deals with sleepwalkers. Maybe they can like ring in or something.
Yeah, we
Check us
want to know
out,
how from you.
brownsugarconfessions.com, everybody.
Please let us know what to do because those situations, it can happen. It's
Mm-hmm.
innocent. Someone is sleepwalking. It's like, I've been known to have a sleep terror every now and then, which is horrifying. But
Mm-hmm.
sleepwalking, you end up in someone's bed and you don't mean any harm. So what would you do? So if you're out there in radio land and you're listening, really let us know what you're doing because this actually did happen in my house and we were pretty like, oh my goodness, what had this could have gone awry in so many different ways, guys.
I mean, at least Waldy wasn't involved, so that's
No,
always a good
Waldy
deal.
wasn't involved. I was like, he wasn't involved. Poor little Waldy. That's my dog. But you know what? This has been a fun show, guys. We didn't really get into our swinging, but I'm going to tell you this because I know we have like a minute or two, right, Katie, before we have to get off.
We are
Just
we
want to
are
get a
at
minute.
time.
Okay.
We
All
are
right.
pretty much there.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go another minute or two because I promise this, and so like this whole month, it's all about the lifestyle and what that is. So I'm just gonna give you the terminology really quick. Um, I'm gonna ask you guys a question, and I want you to think about it. What
Okay.
is soft swap? What do you think hard swap is? What do you think those two things are? Because I
Soft
actually wrote a
swap and
dictionary.
hard
I
swap.
have vocabulary. Yes,
Is this in the
15
book?
pages. It's in the book, whole vocabulary, because it is. Yeah. So
Soft
what?
swap.
Mm-hmm.
Is this like that one TV show, Wife Swap?
I don't know. I haven't seen that
Like
show.
having your spouse swap for a day versus a lifetime?
Oh, okay. All right.
Ah.
No, that's not what it is. All right. Katie, you got an idea what it is?
I really should, but I think my memory is about to actually fail me.
Like,
I
are you like
believe
swapping
a
for like the light bits
Light
instead
bits?
of full frontal?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay, I give
was
up.
it something so maybe not. So I think if I remember correctly, a soft swap is when there is no penetration involved,
There you
and
go.
a hard swap is when there is.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. So next week, guys, this is a good segue into our show next week. We are going to go into what the lifestyle is, how to get into the lifestyle. That's what you want to do. How to meet someone in the lifestyle. We might have a guest on here that's in the lifestyle. We're going to try to get a guest And we're going to get into some of the vocabulary because lifestylers, swingers, if when they're writing ads, and they actually write ads, right? There's a whole
There's ads for this.
websites. There's
Commercials.
ads, yes,
Mm-hmm.
commercials, and it's all acronym, abbreviated. So you need to know what you're answering and how to answer back. So we're going to go
Hmm.
into some of the vocabulary about what
What?
swingers use to communicate. 'Cause it's going to be a fun ride with us the whole month long. Make sure you guys don't leave. Come back every single Wednesday and Thursday. We are going to be live, streaming on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram. We're everywhere streaming. And then you'll catch us in your various radio programs all over. And you know what we say, to always stay safe and play safe. We love you guys. We'll see you next week. And we are Brown Sugar Confessions. Bye bye for now, guys. Thanks for listening to another episode of Brown Sugar Confessions on Power 1017. Go to our Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram page at Brown Sugar Confessions to like, share, and follow. Stay safe and play safe. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.